It started with a whisper, a rumor spreading through the dark alleys of major cities, children disappearing from the streets, seemingly vanishing into thin air. At first, the authorities dismissed them as isolated incidents, blaming it on human trafficking rings or simple runaways. But when hundreds of children from across the world vanished without a trace in a single night, panic set in. In the heart of Neoterra, the capital of Earth, Commander Liam Grayson stood in the control room of the UNSC Phoenix, the most advanced warship in the solar fleet. His jaw tightened as he watched the holographic map light up with red dots, each representing a reported disappearance. "We're running out of time," he muttered to Captain Alana Rivers, his second in command. "What are we dealing with here, sir?" Rivers asked, her eyes focused on the data feed streaming in. Grayson glanced at the screen. Something not human. Weeks passed, and the disappearances continued. Desperation gripped the people. Parents took to the streets, forming militias to protect their children. But nothing could stop them, the unseen predators. No one knew what they were, until that fateful night. Above the skies of New Europa, a glowing rift opened in the clouds. Out of it emerged a fleet of ships, sleek, silent, and massive, blotting out the stars. Alien vessels. Liam Grayson, aboard the Phoenix, watched from the orbital station. His eyes widened in shock as beams of light shot from the ships toward the city below, abducting children in broad daylight. "Scramble the fighters!" Grayson shouted. "We can't let them get away with this." The hangar bay of the Phoenix roared to life as squadrons of fighter jets launched into space. But the alien ships were faster, more advanced. Within moments, they disappeared into the dark void of space, leaving Earth's defenders powerless. Weeks later, the world received a chilling message, broadcasted on every device, in every language. "We are the Zarathan, the rulers of the Andromeda sector," the alien voice boomed. "Your children are the key to our survival. Resist, and you will perish." The Zarathan were a dying species, their genetic code deteriorating with every generation. They needed human children to experiment on, to harvest their DNA and create hybrids that could save their civilization. But humanity would not bow. In an emergency council meeting at Lunar Base Alpha, the leaders of Earth's nations, along with representatives from Mars and Europa colonies, came together. Grayson stood before them, his voice steady and unwavering. "We can't sit idle while they steal our children. This is war." The room was silent, the weight of the decision pressing down on every soul present. Finally, President Markov of Earth spoke. "Commander Grayson, you have our full support. Destroy them." Months passed, and humanity's military forces mobilized for war. The UNSC Phoenix, under Grayson's command, led the charge, joined by Earth's entire armada. Their mission? Take the fight to the Zarathan, deep into the Andromeda sector. Aboard the Phoenix, Grayson stood before his elite team of soldiers, Alpha Squadron. Among them was Sergeant Jax Bullet Henderson, a sharpshooter with a fiery temper, and Corporal Nia Voss, a tech genius who could hack into any system. "We hit them hard, and we hit them fast," Grayson said, pacing in front of his troops. "We're not just fighting for our survival. We're fighting for the future of our species." Jax clenched his fists. "They took my brother's kid. I'm not leaving until every one of those bastards is wiped out." Nia nodded. "Whatever it takes, sir. We're with you." The war raged across galaxies, but the key to victory lay on the Zarathan homeworld, Sci-Fi. Intelligence reports indicated that the children were being held in gene clusters, vast biofacilities where experiments were being conducted. Grayson and his team embarked on a covert mission to infiltrate Sci-Fi. Under the cover of darkness, they landed on the alien planet, its skies glowing a sickly green from the artificial suns the Zarathan used to sustain their dying world. "Stay low," Naya whispered as they navigated the rocky terrain. "We're close to the main facility." They reached the gene cluster, a massive structure pulsing with energy. As they hacked into the system, they uncovered the horrific truth. The Zarathan were splicing human and Zarathan DNA, creating monstrous hybrids. Some of the children had already been transformed. "They're turning them into weapons," Jax growled. Grayson's eyes darkened. "Not if we stop them." Their infiltration turned into a full-blown assault as the Phoenix led a fleet of human warships into Zarathan space. Dogfights erupted above Sci-Fi as human fighters clashed with Zarathan drones. Inside the gene cluster, Grayson and his team fought their way through hordes of Zarathin's soldiers. Blaster fire echoed through the halls as Jax provided cover while Nia disabled the security systems. "We don't have much time," Nia warned. "Reinforcements are inbound." Grayson gritted his teeth. "We're getting those kids out of here." They reached the holding cells, where hundreds of children, including Jax's nephew, were being held. Grayson's heart raced as he ordered the extraction teams to teleport them back to the Phoenix, but just as they were about to escape, the Zarathan leader appeared. "You think you can stop the inevitable?" the alien hissed, its glowing eyes fixed on Grayson. Grayson stepped forward, his blaster raised. "You made one mistake, Zarathan. You underestimated humanity." In a final, explosive battle, Grayson and his team defeated the Zarathan leader, destroying the gene cluster and freeing the remaining children. The human fleet, led by the Phoenix, delivered a crippling blow to the Zarathan forces, forcing them to retreat from Andromeda. The war had been costly, but humanity had prevailed. As Grayson stood aboard the Phoenix, watching the stars, he knew the galaxy would never be the same. "We've sent a message," he said quietly to Alana. "The universe now knows. You don't mess with humanity." Jax approached, his nephew by his side. "Thank you, Commander, for everything." Grayson nodded. "We fight for each other, Jax. That's what makes us strong." As the Phoenix returned home, the galaxy entered a fragile peace. But in the shadows, new enemies stirred, watching, waiting. Humanity had won the war for the lost children, but the battle for the stars had only just begun.